Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 324. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
I cannot wait to go on vacation. I know that you just came back. You feel rested.
Whoa,
rested.
I don't know if it's just came back. Okay.
You still got that. You still got that post-vacation glow.
It's been like a month.
Still got that post-vacation glow. Come on now.
No, that disappeared like 2 days as soon as I got back. 2 days after I got back. I need to go back on vacation.
Hey, come with. I'm sure they still got some rooms.
I need to go. No, I've been to Mexico. I need to do something different. Right. Maybe I'll go to another island or something. I need a beach. I need a beach somewhere else.
You need a beach somewhere else? All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I am just about within a month of my vacation. I'm giddy as a little schoolgirl. Can't wait.
Oh, you're gonna miss the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo. Come on.
Yep. Like 4 years running.
Again.
4 years running. 4 years running, Dan. Come on.
You keep missing it.
I missed it last year. I think you went with Anthony last year, right? I couldn't make it. I had prior engagements. Like the year before, for some reason, I couldn't make it.
Well, the year before was the zombie
COVID?
apocalypse.
The zombie apocalypse. COVID, baby. Hey.
They didn't have it. Yeah, instead of the T virus, it's the COVID virus. Right.
Well, you know, there's some positive benefits to staying indoors. All right, through this whole thing.
I think you need to get your life and your priorities in order.
No.
Long Island Retro Gaming Expo needs to be a part of it.
Well, I mean, look, the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo tickets.
You keep ignoring it.
Tickets for that versus tickets to Mexico, I think wildly different in price.
You know what? Different in price, but on the scale of priority, I don't know. They're right here. They're right here.
You know what, Dan? You know what, Dan?
After watching Moon Knight, the scales don't. The scales. Come on. God. The scales don't even up. Yeah. Scales don't even up.
I will make you this promise. Next year, I guarantee you that there is I guarantee you there is a good chance that I will miss it.
You know,
that is my promise to you. Listen, I went.
Yeah. You gotta. Your hamster's gonna die next year. A hamster that you don't have, and you gotta go to the funeral, and then you can't. You gotta miss it.
You're making it dark and morbid. I will say this. I did go 1 year with Anthony way back when, and it was really cool.
That. I don't believe that.
No, we did. We went in this was like well before the show, maybe 2013, maybe. And
I don't even think they had it back then.
And I met No, they did. It was good. And I met Timac. I met the Last Dragon.
Who's Timac?
The Last Dragon. Come on.
Wait, the 80s movie?
Yeah, Timac the actor. Come on now.
Oh, okay. I don't know
his
his
Bruce
name.
Leroy. Come on.
Oh, Okay, well, Bruce Leroy. Just say Bruce Leroy. I don't know his real
Okay, he's
name.
Bruce Leroy, right?
He hasn't done anything before or since or after.
Well, he's actually like a legit martial arts expert.
No,
And
he is. No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
yeah.
movies and movies.
Oh yeah, no, he was like in that
He
one
hasn't
movie,
done
and that was
anything.
about it. But it's a classic. It's a Berry Gordy classic. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Unironically, that movie is so good. It's got Vanity in it. I mean, but I was walking up the stairs to the second level, and I was like, Anthony, that's Timac. It's The Last Dragon. That's Bruce Leroy. And he's like, who? I'm like, you haven't seen The Last Dragon? The Berry Gordy classic? The 1985 martial arts thriller set in New York? Oh my God, with the Shogun of Harlem?
You know why Anthony doesn't remember that? Because like he wasn't in college like you, so it wasn't like his generation.
Nah, they had that movie on WPIX Channel 11 all the time on the weekends. You could guarantee you could see some part of that movie, right?
Well,
Dave,
imagine the stories you could have and all the people you could have seen if you actually would have prioritized going to the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo.
I know. Maybe I could have met Vanity. Maybe I could have met the dude who played the Shogun of Harlem. Rest in peace.
Okay, first of all, I think Vanity passed away a long time ago.
Did she? Oh shoot. Yeah. Okay, rest in peace, Vanity too.
So unless they've been having Retro Gaming Expo when retro games weren't really retro games, I don't think you would have met her.
I mean, I don't know. Holograms are a thing. I would gladly meet a hologram of Vanity, right? She was an icon of the '80s. But
yeah, I don't think. Well, all right. To be fair, she did pass away in 2016, so maybe you could have met her.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Because I went there pre-2016 before we started the show. But
didn't know she was Canadian.
Oh, neither did I. Wow.
Well, we just learned something new today.
There you go.
Canadian.
There you go.
Canadian.
That's crazy.
All right. No, all right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely going to Retro Gaming, the Long Island Retro Gaming.
All right.
Again, without you, 4 years. Well, 4 years, skip 2020 in a row, without you, right? Because you know what? I have my priorities in order. I'm skipping the hamster's funeral. Okay, I gave the last rites, and I'm done. I'm not going to the funeral.
This mystical hamster that exists.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going. You know why? Because we're keeping physical games alive. And I'm a collector, so of course I want to go there. I like to go on a Sunday, the last day, so I can make some deals. But
Sunday's always the day, yeah, because everyone wants to get rid of their stock.
I'm not gonna lie. I do have 1 foot into the dark side.
Just one?
Just one. It's just, well, you know what? I got maybe like 4 toes. Maybe not the whole foot. You got 4 toes.
Okay. Detail.
The pinky toe in my heel is still out. I got 4 toes into the dark side.
That's a fancy style. What's up?
I've been having fun with my PlayStation Digital Edition and my and my Series S.
Finally, you see the value. It's important.
Only because I have PlayStation Plus Essentials or whatever it's called, right? I just have the premium PlayStation Plus Premium.
Yeah. You get the buffet style of any game you want, more or less.
And I have Games Pass, right? I have Games Pass.
Yeah, they're amazing. And
technically, I wanted to keep everything, together. So I put the white OLED dock up in the living room with the digital edition Series S. All right, with the original Switch with the white Joy-Cons, so I can keep everything, looking the same, even though there are different variations of white. That's next level.
Well, I mean, you do what you can to keep them together. Cream is close enough to white, so.
And I play, Nintendo Online in the living room, and then down in the game room, I have the Series X, which is all black, and I have the original dock for the Switch, which is all black, and then I have the black panels on my disc, the PlayStation 5, with the disc. So I'm keeping. I have the themes everywhere: the white in the living room, and then I have like the black.
Here's a question. I think the answer is yes. Can you mix in?
The answer is no.
Okay, all right, moving on now. Can you mix and match the switches and the docks?
Yeah. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. The
So you
dock,
took an OLED, you could put it in the original dock and vice versa.
Oh yeah, correct. The dock is the same. The only difference is you can't the OLED dock you can hook up Ethernet, right? You
Right.
hook up the
Right.
Ethernet
That just
connection.
has the extra connection in the back. Okay. Yeah, I'm like
Yeah,
never sure.
and they took the ports, the USB ports from the side, and put it in the back.
Right. Well, that's just a minor change, yeah. But okay.
Yeah, yeah. I want the OLED dock, the black OLED dock, but it's sold out. I would have to actually buy a brand new Switch if I actually want that. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know if
yeah.
I'm gonna go that far and do that because I have another house to buy and I'm trying to.
All right, folks, give him like 6 months or whatever, right? Come like the holidays, he'll have like 2 of them. It'll be, come on.
Okay, first of all, 6 months, that's 2 bonus checks away. Okay, I'll definitely.
Thank you. You're proving my point. It's just a matter of time.
So you know what?
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Put your money where your mouth is. Say 6 weeks. Come on.
No.
Be bold.
No.
Say 6 weeks.
No.
Maybe
6
weeks.
months,
Maybe
Dan. Stop trying to weasel out of the bet. See? Because he knows there's no bonus check coming in 6 weeks. He knows he can wait till his bonus check.
I just had the bonus
check. So he
check.
will win on that bet.
I just had the bonus check, though.
And
That's
you
why
just spent the bonus check.
Digital.
So
that's why.
there you go.
Well, I didn't spend all of it. I spent.
Yeah,
I didn't even spend a fraction of it. But that's why I got the PlayStation Digital Edition.
Now. Do you ever just take the bonus check, convert it into like ones, and just go to GameStop and make it rain? Go. I want this. I want this. I want this, and just go bam, 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 bam. You just spread the money around the store.
I've gone to other places and make it rain.
No, I want to see places other than that where I want to see people at the supermarket buying a bunch of Wagyu beef and go bam, 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 bam.
No. I go to the laundromat and I tell everybody, look, if you just hit me back, if you just lean back into your chair, I can just hit you with a couple of wands, so you can buy some detergent and bleach.
I got you. Oh, that's funny.
We've been everywhere except for video games. So let's
well, I mean,
let's round. Come on, let's reel us back in.
All right.
We have an awesome show this week coming up. We're going to talk about the new Robocop game that was announced. That came out of nowhere. No one saw that coming.
Right.
And Microsoft makes a major change to Xbox Live with Gold. So we'll discuss all that later. Before we get into any of that, let's begin the show with a major delay, in my view, because this is a game I've been looking forward to, and that is Forspoken.
Really? Okay.
It is a Squaresoft game, right? Square Enix game that is PlayStation 5 exclusive. We don't know if it's a timed exclusive or what. We don't know anything about that. They haven't said anything, but it's just for the PS5, and that will be delayed from October to January of 2020. So it will be the I think the first major game. They haven't actually had a release date yet, but it's sometime in January from what I can tell. I think this is a good move, to be honest. You don't want to put it out in October with other releases, which we'll get into later, not getting specific, but it could get lost, right? So if it coming out in January or February, it'll have it's a time where games, we don't get a lot of major games, right? They come late February, March, April, May. I think this is a good time for it. I mean, unless there's a Resident Evil game coming out in January.
Yeah, they usually come out around that time too. I don't think so. I don't. Even
if Resident Evil 4 remake comes out in January, I don't think it'll get lost in the shuffle because it'll be like one of 2 major games, right? So I think January is a good time for it.
This is the same point you made, I think, about Titanfall, right? Because Titanfall was a first-person shooter that came out when Battlefield and Call of Duty were out, which were already established franchises. They tried to squeeze in Titanfall 2, which the first one didn't do that well. So I agree with you there, 100%. Move it to a better time. It'll probably be the first AAA game of the season, right? So they'll get
a game like this, from Square Enix that I like Guardians of the Galaxy, but they haven't been putting out games that people love. It's all have some issues and people have some issues with them. Right? So a game like this put out in January, put out in the summertime where it has all the market share, all the mind share, right? People buy it, they get a chance to play it because it's the major game that's out, and I think this is, listen, I think this is a good thing, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a bummer that it's going to be delayed. It's just another game I'm not going to, nominate for Game of the Year, because I think for me this could be a Game of the Year nominee.
Well, I can tell you why. Because at various points during their production cycle, they had both Amy Hennig and Gary Whitta, former editor of PC Gamer, writer of Rogue One and many other movies and shows,
and contributor to Kind of Fun.
Exactly. So they had an all-star cast kind of doing the narrative stuff, which I know is big for you. I mean, it's big for me too, but that seems to be a driving force to new IP, which I'm kind of excited about. So
I don't know if I like the name so much for Spoken. I mean,
yeah, could have used another go around, but
could have used another name. But I like the premise, and if the story's good, they could reel me in. It's coming out in January, the beginning of the year, and people have recently biased, so it could be the greatest game, but it won't get nominated for Game of the Year at the end of the year because it's coming out in January.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem, unless it's like, AAA known quantity title. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Well,
tough.
even then, it'll lose a little bit of its luster, because again, people sort of forget about the things that came out earlier in the year, unless there's DLC that comes out later in the year. Like, if you're gonna put out a AAA game in the beginning of the year, you gotta have like DLC at the end of the year to sort of remind people of the game and how great it is.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears again. Quick note on PlayStation: Sucker Punch. I love Ghost of Tsushima. It was our game of the year, right? About 2 years ago.
Yep.
There've been a lot of rumors about them making a sequel to Sly Cooper and maybe another infamous game in the works. Sucker Punch has clarified that there's no Sly Cooper and no infamous game in the works at all from them or any other studio.
Well,
okay.
The any other studio bit is the interesting part, because I just assumed they were working on the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, which is definitely in production. They just haven't announced it yet. But
yeah, no, 100%. But they did say it could, they haven't closed the door on those franchises. They're just not in active development. Doesn't mean they haven't had sort of, and a lot of devs would do this. Well, chalkboard, right? I call it chalkboard ideas, where they put ideas on a blackboard, chalkboard, because I don't think anybody uses chalkboards anymore, on a whiteboard.
Virtual chalkboards, but yeah.
Virtual chalkboard, right? And this is what we could do, and maybe we'll have this, and maybe this will be the next thing that we work on, right? I honestly 100% guarantee you, infamous game is in the idea phase.
Oh,
right?
sure.
There's some idea for a new infamous game that would probably that will either come out at the end of the PlayStation 5 life cycle, because I think it's been delayed because of zombie apocalypse shortages, right? So I think the life of this generation is going to be extended another 2 to 3 years, where it probably would have just been like a 5 to 6 year period. I think it's going to extend at least 7 to 8 years.
Sure.
At the end of the PS5 life cycle or the beginning of the PS6 life cycle.
Sure, so, I could see that. I mean, both those franchises, Cooper and Infamous, are loved by fans, right? I mean, I think they got a pretty good pedigree there. So, I'd like to see sequels for sure.
I will. I can guarantee you this. I feel it in my bones, man. I feel it. I'll take a Shake Shack bet. That's how much I feel it. Because I'll only do bets I know I can win. I think
it's gonna be like a 10-year window right here. But go ahead.
You won't see a sequel for either of those franchises. First, you'll see either a remake of the original game or a collection put out.
Oh, 100%. Because they did do a Sly Cooper collection on the PS3, which is essentially locked to the PS3. So there's,
correct.
It would behoove them, and I don't think Sucker Punch did it, right? I think it was another studio.
It wasn't Sucker Punch.
Okay, yeah. Usually that's the way it goes. You get a Blue Point or somebody in there who's good at doing, or a Night Dive Studio or whatever, get them in there and make that happen. 100%, because it missed the PS4. Put it out on the PS4. PS5 will be backwards compatible with it. Bim, boom, bam. There you go. And you're just printing money at that point.
You know what I could see? I could see them saying, you know what? We're going to put out the collection on PlayStation Premium, right? Plus, right? So it'll be online. And then I could see them remaking the original Infamous game, because it's tough to go back to that game. That game is, it's a product of its time.
It's 2 generations ago, right?
Yeah. So I could see them maybe remaking or remastering the original from the ground up. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be mad at that. I honestly wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah.
And do something different, do something new, a reimagining of the first. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, all right. As of this recording, this will, this is the last day you can get it. But when the show actually comes out, you won't be able to actually download this anymore. So I hope you get a chance to download this before it ends, and that is the Matrix Awakening demo. Came out with next gen consoles. Mm-hmm. It's going to be delisted and it's done. You're not gonna be able to download it anymore.
I think it's still on my hard drive, but that just means it's taking up space that could be better utilized for actual games.
No.
Yeah.
Because this could be the PT of our time. We don't know for this generation. We don't know.
All right.
It's not okay. So look, it's not like the Final Fantasy Origin demo, right? Like, remember when that came out?
Yeah, Stranger Paradise.
Last year or whatever. Yeah, Stranger Paradise. You can actually go buy that game. Okay?
You can
go buy the game. You don't need the demo. So they delist the demo, that's fine, because you can just go buy that game. This is not a game. It's literally just a tech demo. That's it. So there's no game to buy.
Some digital rarity to it, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any sort of online connected component that, like with PT, you can just play it offline as long as you have it, right?
And you can play this offline too. You can play this offline.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you need to connect or anything to validate whatever your purchase. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that needs to connect to a server that shouldn't. With like digital stuff. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's self-contained, but
I don't think you need to connect. I don't think you need to connect to a server on for this Awakening demo.
All of that aside,
I'll tell you why. I had some internet issues at the time that I actually downloaded this, because I had nothing else to play. Right. And this is you play a little. It's a little bit of a game. It's literally like 5 to 10 minutes, if even, of a game, and then you can just go around the city. Yeah. And
you can mess with the shaders. You can change things in real time. It is really cool. I would say. Now it's going to be gone by the time you're hearing this, but if you ended up downloading it, you haven't played it yet, try it out, because it is really cool. It's a really cool thing.
I downloaded it on my Series S. I downloaded it on my Xbox. My PlayStation 5 Digital Edition.
Yeah.
I already had it downloaded on my Xbox Series X, and I think I'm gonna download it on my other PlayStation 5, just in case. You never know.
Well, you're never gonna play it again. That I will make you a bet.
That's not true. I'll take that bet. That's not true. I actually wanted to go try it out.
You're just gonna do it to prove me wrong. But there's no reason to go back to it. There's no game there. There is. No, there's not.
There's 5 minutes of gaming in the beginning,
which you've done already. You've already played it. You've seen what the Unreal Engine 5 can do. You will just play whatever game comes out on that engine, right?
No, and I'll do it again. And I liked going around in the city. It was cool to go, jump in a car and go around in the city.
Yeah, it was a cool demo the one time, and there's nothing there. There's a little bit there to get you excited, but
I think this could be the PT of this generation. Because this is never going to be released.
I don't know about that.
I think people will be like, I think people. It won't have the hype initially. Because, with the PT demo, it was all about Kojima and him leaving, right? And then delisting it on purpose. But this, I think, could be, hey, I got a digital edition that has the Matrix Awakening demo, which you can't play anywhere else. Mm-hmm. I think this could be the PT of the time, man. I'm telling you.
So I'm looking right now. There are 2 listings on eBay One is a PS4 500 gig with PT for $480 plus shipping from Australia. So it's insanely high. $480 plus $75 shipping. And the other one is $800 or best offer, but it comes with a PSN account with a large library of games. So you do get more than just PT in that case. Those are the two listings on there. I don't know how long they've been up for, but if that is indicative of what the sale prices have been going for, okay. I honestly don't think this Matrix demo is going to hold water like that, though. I mean, I don't necessarily even see people selling it at the moment. Maybe they'll wait until it goes offline. Because PS5 with the demo on there, right? PS5s are hard to get. So people may buy it just because it's a PS5, if the price is right. And it also comes with a rare demo, but I don't know.
So I'm also looking at eBay. You forget to put the period after P and T. So there are a couple of more listings. There's one for $400. It's just the original PS4 demo.
So that's even less than stated price, yeah.
And then there's another one, a PT demo from Australia.
Yeah.
That's about $500.
And there's one at $600. Yeah, that doesn't mean they're selling at that price though.
We're at $800. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's selling at that price. So you can actually see sold.
There's another one that's a white one, white PS4 that's for $610. That's also from France. And then there's another one from Italy that's about $400.
Okay, so those don't really matter. The sale prices, I saw there's a couple of them that have actually sold for about $180 on the low end, $400 on the high end. So
yeah,
there's a little bit of value, It's there. But you can get it. You can get it less than $200 for a PS4 with the game.
I would love to see in 10 years how much that'd be worth.
I don't think it's going to be worth that much.
Anything.
I don't think it's going to be worth that much.
But we'll see. We'll see about the Matrix Awakening. We'll see about them.
Oh, I think that's going to be even less of a value. But maybe I could be wrong. I have been wrong before.
That is 1,000% true. That I'll take. That bet I'll take.
Mm-hmm.
Dave,
I'm admitting it.
As we always try to start the show, but epically fail. What have you been playing?
Well, there is a game that I can't necessarily talk about. That may be a game that's upcoming on the next Saturday Morning Retro, which I'm very excited to talk about. But I'm not going to reveal that now. So I've been doing some long nights of gaming with this classic, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
That sounds like a stream. That sounds like a or a YouTube show. Long nights of gaming.
Long nights of gaming, starring Dave Rutino. No. But the game I can tell you about is Halo Infinite. Still been playing the multiplayer. Very excited for the co-op that's about to come out. Even more excited about Forge whenever that comes out. I think maybe that may be a holiday thing. That may be next year. Forge was supposed to be out already. That's the sandbox where you can build your own levels. And that just kind of kicks down the door because then you don't really have to wait for 343 Studios to drip feed you new levels, right? We've gotten two new levels in like a year and a half. It's taken forever. Come on, 343, just give us Forge and we can make our own levels. But it's good. They're smoothing out the online stuff. I haven't been experiencing the lag issues that were kind of plaguing almost just me out of my circle of friends. I was getting a bunch of lag. They're like, yeah, we don't really see it on your end, and I'm kind of jumping around like I'm some sort of space traveler, flying through the sky. But yeah. Okay. So, what have you been playing, Dan?
I've been playing Mafia. I'm almost done. I'm 2 chapters away from the ending. The Mafia Definitive Edition.
Ah, the remake. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's. I'm not gonna lie. I know last night when we spoke about it, when we were sort of doing the run of show today, I was a little down on it. That's just because I was frustrated at certain points of the game for certain things. The game is great. The game is great.
I remember
I'm
it
really
being
digging.
good. Yeah.
I'm really well the definitive edition at least. I'm not gonna. I have been playing the original Mafia game too. I started that last night as well. Don't want to talk too much about it just because I don't know if I'm going to use it for Saturday morning retro. But the
Okay.
definitive edition
Uh-huh.
is great. I was just frustrated last night, but I would say this is a great game to pick up and play if you have PlayStation. I think it's on Games Pass. I could be wrong about that. I
Right.
think it's on Games Pass. But if you do have a PlayStation Essentials or Premium Edition, I would say download it. It's a game that you definitely should play. It's great. I love this story. Hopefully, I don't get frustrated again in these later missions. And because it's a lot of stealth. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not a big stealth guy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to I can't wait to get to the shoot 'em up bang bang part.
Yeah. Well,
But,
you've
have to get
definitely
through the
gotten in a
stealth.
couple of those battles, right? You've gotten in a couple of shootouts,
100%.
right? Yeah. Because it's the Mafia. How could you not get into a bloody shootout?
Well, every mission for the most part is you go into a place and you stealth assassinate something or steal something. You stealth do something and then you have to escape. The escape part is where everyone's looking for you and you got to get out and you got to it's shoot 'em up bang. So I'm feeling that. I really do. I do love this game, and apparently it's enough new stuff to where we could have nominated Game of the Year if I would have played it when it came out.
Okay. Interesting.
No, it really is. It's night and day. I started the original
comparatively.
Last night. It is night and day. It is definitely night. It should have been called the Mafia remake. Because it's definitely not a remaster. It's a remake. It's the definitive edition.
Okay.
They had the new voice acting, new dialogue. They're new. A couple of the missions were sort of, redone, retooled, and you're doing something different than you did in the original game. It is a completely different game.
Wow.
And
all right.
I know. I complained about the shooting last night in the game, but doing the shooting in the original game, it is definitely an upgrade. It's not great by any means. It's still not great, but it is 1,000% upgrade from the original.
Okay.
Because you couldn't take any cover in the 2002 game. You couldn't cover. You could only shift left and shift right.
That's not true. You could flip tables over and sneak behind them. Is that not?
You couldn't just take cover like you do in this game. This game you could just take cover over anything. In the other game, in the original game, you could flip tables, but you mostly had to shift left, shift right.
I see. Okay.
But in here, you can take cover over anything. Right. You can. Doesn't matter. A doorway, a table,
right.
A barrel.
And you'll kind of get up against it, and you can kind of peek out and all that.
Yeah. The shooting still ain't great. Still isn't great. They should have put a little bit more work in the shooting mechanics. Don't get me wrong. And I know they semi have the auto aim, but that's not great either.
In defense of the original, the PC game, which was the original release, better.
Keyboard and mouse.
Much better.
Keyboard and mouse.
Much better. Yeah, they had some issues with the console ports. For 1 and 2, they were not amazing. But
all right, Dave, let's take a break. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll get into the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. All right, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. And let's start with God of War Ragnarok.
Oh.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally, this game we have a release date. Finally, it's not been delayed. Everyone thought it would be delayed until next year. But no, it is coming out November 9th. So it is a holiday game, and I think it meets the cutoff to be nominated for Game of the Year for the Game Awards.
It's very close. Yeah,
Very close.
Mid November 15th or 20-something, I think. Yeah, because the show goes on early December, like December 6th or whatever, right?
December, yeah, the first,
The
around
first
like
week.
6, 7
Yeah.
for 6,
Yeah.
7 for 8, or something like that.
Because famously,
The end of the first week.
right? Famously, I think in 2018, maybe when Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out, they didn't
came
make
out,
the
like,
cut.
the next day.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no, Super Smash Bros. Came out in December, so technically that was
That's
in
what I
December.
mean.
Yeah, I think, but games that come out like in late November don't make the cut. But I think this makes the cut, kind of.
Right.
Right. I don't know if obviously I don't think these studios care, or Sony or Microsoft actually says, oh, you know what, we can't put it out now because that's not going to be nominated for Game of the Year.
Oh,
For
no,
you.
I heavily disagree. I think that is in the discussion.
Really?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
Well, they do
I
that
don't
with
know.
movies. They specifically put
They
movies
do.
out.
They put it out for the Oscars.
They put it out closer to the end of the year because, like we were talking about in the first part of the show, right? If you put a game out in January, when it comes to the holidays of the award season, everybody forgets about it because it was so long ago, right?
Yeah,
So
but
you'll see a lot of Oscar bait movies or Oscar worthy movies or whatever you want to say come out in the fall and the winter, right? Because then it's like, oh yeah, we
that's
just saw
true.
this great movie, and then it's in your head. So
no, but I don't. But that's movies.
yeah,
That's movies. I don't think they do. I don't think the gaming industry puts that much stock in the Game Awards itself so
Well-
much as they put it in the Metacritic and review scores, right?
well, they
'Cause
want
you
that
get-
too, but they definitely
get-
want to. They definitely want to
get-
say 5-time award winner at the Game Awards got award, get the Game of the Year edition now, right?
I
They
think-
want to
I
be
think
able to
the-
put that advertising out.
I don't think they put that much stock into it as you think. I don't think they honestly.
I think they put it.
I'm not saying they don't care at all, but I don't think
No,
they
it's
care as much.
it's
as you
definitely
think.
in the discussion. We need to.
I don't
Well,
think
I mean,
it's
it's
fair as much as you
it's definitely in the discussion because it can only help game sales, right? And we know this is going to be amazing if it's anything like the first game.
Because
so.
if that's the case, then put it out in October, right? Put it out in October when you know you're going to make the cut. You know
I'm
you
pretty
can-
sure everybody wants it to be out in October, right? So you can get the
That's-
hype and then get the game sales, for sure.
I just don't. Like Starfield was originally 11/11, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if that made the cutoff time for it, right? Maybe. I mean, it's never. I mean, you have to have enough time to actually play the game, right? So I don't know if they put that. I'm just saying I don't know if they put that much. Okay.
Well, the reviewers get it a couple weeks beforehand, so they get
They do.
They get some time.
They
with
do.
it.
1,000%. They don't put as much stock in the Game Awards as movies put as much stock into the Oscar. But 100%, 1,000%, they don't do that. But
Okay.
I do think they think about it, but they
There's
may
some-
not put that much stock
There's
into it.
there's some consideration in the boardroom. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So November 9th is actually Wednesday, which is weird because games come out on a Tuesday or a Friday. right?
Typically, yeah.
Typically. But Wednesday is Odin's Day. So there's a little theming behind, there's theming behind this. They also announced a couple of special edition, which, you have Mjolnir or Thor's Hammer, as I just like to call it Thor's Hammer.
Yeah, it's a little easier
which
to
looks,
say.
Which looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of, I didn't see the one thing I had an issue. Well, I had two issues, but the major thing, one of the major things is I didn't see like a stand for the hammer. So you need I could be wrong.
Right.
I could be wrong. If there's a stand, I'm completely wrong, and I'll own that because that looks cool if you can put the hammer on the stand. But
You'd
it
have
looks
to be
like
able to balance it because, like, looking at it,
yeah.
it's very top heavy, right? As a hammer
Yeah.
would be, right? And I don't think the base is like squared off, where you can just
No.
kind of lay it upright. But they don't show it in the pictures.
If they don't have a stand, that means you need the box. The box is critical to displaying it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any room. I mean, if you're watching on video, I barely have a statue itself, let alone a big box. And but Halo 5, right? That box was pretty cool. That box was huge, and
Yeah,
I
it's
have
big.
no place to put it. but the statue could stand on its own, right? With him versus Locke, Master Chief versus Locke. So I don't know. I do want this. You know, I do want to buy this. We have no prices yet. They haven't announced any prices, which is critical to, you know, my, you know, if I'm gonna buy it tonight, because I don't want to spend more than $250.
It's critical to everyone's reasoning in whether they're going to pre-order it or not.
But as collectors, the collector, I know I have the PlayStation Digital Edition. The collector in me is disappointed in these special, because both special editions, they have two different special editions with the hammer.
Well,
You know, some come with a little bit more tchotchkes than others. You know, like the other one, like the major special edition comes with a vinyl record, some dice, and the cloth, which I kind of want. I really
comes
want
with
that.
the hammer too, some in-game downloadable content, a nice box. There's a lot in here.
They come with steel books, right? They come with the steel book.
Both special editions do, yeah.
Both special editions, but they don't have physical game at all.
Nope.
And there was some explanations. I was listening to IGN podcast, and they brought up some explanations why, and they made good points. Okay, I'm not agreeing with their point. I can see their point. See, there's a difference where I can see where they're coming from, but I can still disagree with the premise overall. And some of the points they made were privacy, right? Piracy. Sorry, piracy, where you don't want to have leaks, right? And if you're putting out special edition with the disc, people can play the game early and leaks can get out, compared to having a digital code to where you can't download it. You can't play the game even if you redeem the code until the release date.
Well,
and well, let me just finish. You can counter both.
Well, no, I just have questions on.
Okay, piracy. Go ahead.
I just have questions on how is it leaked? Are you saying like that it has to go to the facility for packaging, and that those people could take the game and play it?
That and those special editions go directly to the retail stores. Right. They go to the retail stores. They have to be there for the launch of the game.
Right.
So
you got to be able to get it day one.
Yeah, they got to have them before the launch of the game, where people can actually open it up and play it. And there leaks. I mean, there have been leaks for years, for decades, right, where games have been leaked because it got to the retail stores. Or whoever's manufacturing them, right, can actually leak the game as well. I'm sure they.
I suppose there's more hands in the pot, and you have more chances for it to kind of get out there. I think that's weak, because I'd say at least 75 to 80% of all special editions come with the actual game disc. I mean, I have a couple that don't. Sonic Mania for one, or Fire Emblem, or there's some that don't. There's some that don't.
I disagree, because as Dave tells me all the time, the digital future is coming, right? It's coming, and we hear about the statistics every year where, you know, download the digital games outweigh physical game sales, right? Every year. I mean, it's dominant right now. Right now it's 50-50, because old heads like us are holding on, but that other 50%, right? Years and years. How many years we get leaks? Where do you think these leaks come from? I'm sure it's people playing or popping in the game early. You know, they have it in the warehouse.
Maybe
they have it in back of the store. They're popping the game in.
We don't have. You know, well, isn't that with all video games? You're gonna have it. Oh, you're saying it's got to be there like way early, like more than just a couple days out? Because
I don't know. I mean, listen. Remember we got the leak of the Switch Lite shell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was from the manufacturer. That came from the plant itself. I mean, somebody took a picture of it.
But what's so like? Okay, so we got a leak of the shell. I mean, it's the internals and all that.
I know, but okay. I know, but you're saying like, that's nothing, because you're talking from a media standpoint, from a player standpoint, from a company standpoint. No, I don't want nothing leaked. I don't want.
Well, I mean, ideally,
leaked.
Yeah, ideally.
I don't want anything leaked. If I own the company, if I own a company, I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing until I'm ready to show it.
Sure. I don't want anybody to know. I'll give you that, but
and then look what happened. And look what happened. No way. Look what happened 2 years ago. The Last of Us Part 2 spoiler and ending got leaked, and people were so upset.
Well, that wasn't because of any special edition packaging or anything like that. You know, it has nothing to do with it.
True, but you don't. But do you really? If you're Sony, this is a major game. This is a flagship game. You don't want to take any chances.
Agreed.
With I mean, what if Kratos died, right? In this game, and it gets leaked, right? It will be a major story, but you don't want anybody to know that until they
of course not.
Play the game and get the context of
course
maybe
not.
how he died. I don't know if he dies or not. I'm just saying, right? Like from The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh yeah, we have
a character.
Yeah.
A major character actually dies, right? And some people are speculating they think Kratos will die. I don't think so.
Unless Atreus is going to become the new God of War, and maybe in some twist of fate he has to kill his father, right? Because it's the whole thing about killing the gods to become the god. That's the whole journey, right? Or at least it was in the first couple ones. I definitely don't see that happening because, and even if he does die, they're gonna retcon it and bring him back in another adventure because.
He could die, and then Atreus needs to pick up the chains and get his power, and he becomes
could
like
be,
or something. Something like
his son is badass. His son is badass.
He has to beat Odin, right? Yeah, and we know this is the last game in Norse mythology, right? They said it's not going to be a trilogy. This is it. The next God of War game would be something totally different.
Sure. Which I'd be really excited to see and all that. But
I kind of wanted a trilogy. I'm not gonna lie.
I think they're
go to Egypt. That's the.
Oh, Egypt would be awesome. There's a ton of great gods in there. Ra, Osiris. I mean, come on now. Set.
Climbing a pyramid, right? A pyramid monster. That would be cool.
Yes. Oh, the trying to get around the internals. Sure.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But I guess my point is, I think they're underestimating who is buying these sets, right? The people that want them like things. They like physical things, right? The people that buy digital don't want all the clutter, right? They want it in a tiny little flash drive the size of this.
I completely disagree with you. I completely 1000% disagree with you, and that comes to point number 2 on why they may have did this. And this comes from IGN, a couple of IGN podcasts I was listening to, and they make a good point on this. You can manufacture the box, and anybody can buy it, right? Because I don't know the sales numbers. We don't know the sales numbers, to be fair. We don't know the sales numbers of how many Xbox Series S's were sold and how many PlayStation digital systems were sold. We know that how many were shipped, and obviously we can't find them, so they're all sold. But we don't know how many specific disc systems are sold compared to digital systems.
Well,
because you buy it.
Well, that's just the product of the shortage, right?
Yeah. And then some people maybe only could buy a Series S. Maybe some people could only find a digital system.
Well, sure.
But they can only find.
I would just say before you continue.
Go ahead.
If you take the shortage out of the whole situation, the people that are buying the digital version don't care about physical.
You
stuff.
don't know that. No.
I mean,
I vehemently disagree with that.
It's 100% true.
That's
because why would you just not spend the extra $100, get the physical, and then buy all the physical stuff?
Because you don't want a collection.
That's my point. That's my point, Dan. That's my point.
They can want one statue. They can want one statue. They can want one tchotchkes. It doesn't mean they don't. That doesn't mean they want to be a collector like.
So they have the one for Street Fighter V already, and they're good. Right. Once they buy that one statue, they're not going to get more. Right. They buy the one thing.
They may get a couple of statues.
Now they become a collector, right?
That's not a collector if you have two or 3 statues. No, that's not. The definition of collecting isn't 1 or 2, 3 statues. I think
it is.
Google.
Well, okay. So
that's not true.
Even if we say the cutoff is 3, right? If they have 3 already, then they're not going to get more. They're not going to cycle out old ones for new ones, right?
Let me ask you a question. Do you have CDs? Music CDs?
I have over 400 CDs, and I want to get rid of them.
You want to get rid of them. So when's the last time you bought a CD?
I haven't in a while. I have moved on to other things.
Okay. I am not a CD collector, but I did pick up a couple of CDs for music for artists like Jay-Z. I want to have all of Jay-Z. I'm a big Jay-Z fan, so I want to have all of Jay-Z CDs. I'm not a CD collector.
Okay.
By any means.
Okay.
By any means.
Okay.
By any means.
You're proving my point.
No, I'm not. I'm proving my point. I love God of War. I am not a video game collector, but I love God of War. I love Norse mythology. I want the fucking hammer.
There's one game series.
I want the hammer.
There's one game. There is one game series that you're crazy about. There's one game.
You know what?
So, you know what? So wait.
I brought the digital edition of God of War 2018.
There wasn't a digital edition, was there? If there was,
you can buy any game digital. You can buy any game digital, Dave. Where have you been for the last 10 years?
I thought you were talking about. Are you talking about the special edition or just the digital?
I brought God of War. I brought God of War digitally the first time.
Okay.
I wanted to buy the statue, but it came with a disc, and I don't want to buy I don't want to have the disc.
No, you do though, because the thousands of games behind you say otherwise. You were me and you were simpatico.
I am talking about a regular person that says, you know what, I want God of War statue, but I don't want the disc. I don't want the disc, and I have a digital edition.
Well, why don't they want the disc? Is the question, right?
Because they aren't collectors, Dave. They want.
So then why do they? Okay,
they don't want what I have behind them.
In this one particular scenario,
there was a bunch of guys on IGN that said, you know what, this is great. I want the hammer, but I don't want the disc because I have enough. I have a digital edition. So if it came with a disc, it wouldn't work.
Why not just sell the hammer separately for a price, which they do with a lot of stuff, and then separate the concerns? You do. You can buy it digitally. You can buy it physical.
I agree.
And then you can buy something. That's the issue. That's the issue.
I agree. No, that's not the issue. That's the solution.
No matter.
I agree with you. You should have two separate SKUs. I do agree with that.
Well, no, I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying that. The issue is you're hurting one or the other communities, right? In this hypothetical scenario where there's people that don't want physical discs but do want a bunch of crap in their house, which I think is limited. Because even if you're a big fan,
they don't want they don't want a bunch of crap.
Yes.
They want certain crap.
Okay.
Everybody has a certain amount of crap. Everybody has a certain amount of crap.
If they're that big of a fan, they don't care what comes with it. They will buy it anyway. And that is true. If I was a bigger God of War fan, it is. Yeah, it is.
That's not true.
So they're not that big of a fan where they would say, "Oh, this one thing that comes inside of it, that's gonna." No, sorry, I don't want it.
They can't use it. It's a disc, and they don't have.
They can have it on display.
They don't have.
It comes with the steelbook, Dan. Why is that steelbook in there? There's no game inside.
It shouldn't come with a steelbook then. No, you're right. It shouldn't come with a steelbook. But they have a discless system.
Well, if they're that much of a fan of the game, they will just buy the digital version and buy the special edition. They can't be that fervent. They can't be that fervent where it goes to a point and then it's like, this is too much.
No.
That narrows your arguments to such a thin margin.
No, you just killed your point. But you just killed your point. Yes, you did. I'll tell you why. Because you just told them if they're such a fan, buy both. If you're such a fan, Dave, you can buy both. You can buy the collector's edition and buy the game by itself.
Well, I'm not that much of a fan. That's why I'm not that much of a fan, which is why I'm not going to buy the special edition and just buy the regular one. That's where I am at. That's where I am at.
I'm going to do both. I'm going to do both.
No.
Special edition, and I'm going to buy the regular.
You're not gonna. You're gonna wait till it's $10 on sale a bunch of years later to not get that angry about it. That's 100% true. You're gonna wait till it's on sale. So you're also angry about it.
It all depends on how much it costs. It's
going to cost $70. We know the regular
edition. The special edition. It all depends on how much the special edition costs.
Guaranteed. The Jotnar edition, the top tier one, it's going to be like $300 minimum, maybe $350. I can guarantee you. And there's no disc inside.
If it's $200 to $250,
it's going to be way too much.
If it's $200 to $250, I'll 100% buy the game separate too.
Well,
the disc.
If
it's $300, I may buy it and wait. I may buy the special edition and then wait. But then there's another point. The digital code also works on the PS4 and PS5. So it doesn't matter which one you have. There's no separate SKUs for PS4 and PS5. You could use that code They don't have to have a separate SKU for PS5, a separate SKU for PS4.
Microsoft has solved that issue. I mean, they have games that just say Xbox, and you just pop it in, and it downloads the appropriate assets, and or they're on the disc, and it's good to go. It works out. It works it out in the OS.
It says Xbox, and it says Xbox, and if it says Xbox, that means it only works on the Series X. If it says Xbox One, then it'll work on the
well, whatever. They have discs that work for both. They have discs that work for both.
They're separate SKU. Well,
no. Some of
that's actually not true. If it says Xbox One, it doesn't work on the. If it says Xbox, if it says Xbox One.
Some of them are hybrid discs, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of them are hybrid
Series
discs.
X. If it says Series X, trust me,
right.
I'm the person that brought
but they have hybrid discs, though. They have hybrid discs. Like 80% of the discs are hybrid.
I brought WWE 2K, the new one, and I brought the Xbox One version by accident. If you buy the Series X version,
well, that's not the norm.
Then you can't play it. You can't play it on the one.
Well, that's not the norm. Most of the discs. I'd say 90% of the 95% of almost 100% of the discs within the first year of the launch were just hybrid discs. So Microsoft has worked that problem out.
Not anymore. Guess what?
We're not in the first year
anymore. We're not in the first year anymore.
But
just like God of War, we're not.
But hold on. Most of those games aren't. Like, we're getting away from games that work on both systems, and now there's Xbox Series X specific games. So that doesn't matter anymore. Then you can't even play it you can't even get a copy for the old system, right? We're not talking about Madden anymore.
Which means Microsoft lied to us because they said.
Well, that's
games going forward.
That has nothing to do with this conversation. I'm just saying. Microsoft has worked.
Microsoft lied to us. You need to acknowledge
that has nothing to do with this conversation. I don't. That has nothing to do with this conversation.
I want to hear from you that they lied to us. I want to hear you admit they lied to us.
That has nothing to do with this conversation.
You're pissed off, and you're pissed off just like you're pissed off at PlayStation.
That has nothing to do with this conversation. I'm just saying Microsoft has worked that.
Don't bring up Microsoft.
And I will also say. Well, I'm just saying having like the two SKUs and the whatnot. I don't know how it works on PlayStation. Maybe they don't have
time I checked,
the same what is it, smart delivery system or whatever that like delivers the correct assets for your console. They may not, maybe a little bit harder to do. They may have to put two SKUs out there, but if you're going to go through the trouble of putting together these big special editions for collectors, right? I'm gonna assume you're gonna want the disc. You're gonna want everything, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, sell it piecemeal. Just sell it piecemeal. Sell the hammer by itself. Sell the hammer by itself. Sell the dice by itself. Put it out for $50, $60, $70, and then no mess, no fuss, and you can piece together how much stuff you want, and everybody
special
wins.
Editions.
That's it.
Special editions aren't for collectors. Special editions are for people who want it. It just so happens collectors buy it.
And who wants it?
For collectors. People who love God of War. People who love God of War buy God of War stuff.
Yes, they do.
And they don't put this together and say, "Okay, this is for collectors out there."
Not everybody wants that stuff in their house. Some people just have one console. Some people like all their stuff digitally because they don't want stuff in the house.
And some people only have Halo special editions because they're a Halo fan. And some people only have Gears of War editions because they're a Gears of War fan. Some people only have Super Mario statues.
But every time
they have God of War stuff.
But every time a new game comes out, that is going to be the argument that you're going to say, why even bother putting the disc in there? So every special edition shouldn't come with a physical disc.
Because the digital editions of these consoles are out, that's why they're doing it. Because and you know what? This tells me that more than a lot of people, a lot of all digital editions have been sold, and they're catering to that audience too, who may want the damn hammer but don't want the disc because they don't have a place to put the disc. You can download the code no matter what system you have, but you can't put the disc in if you don't have a disc system.
So you're saying your argument is because there's a shortage, that is why they're doing it. Well, then you can't even make that argument then. And you can't even make that argument. That doesn't matter.
What are you talking about?
I
said people who bought the diskless system, the people who bought the...
Well, they had to, though. They had to. Some people were forced into buying it because there's a shortage.
The people who bought the digital system now can have the opportunity to buy the special edition if they're a fan. They can buy the special edition.
That is a very small set of people. That is
you don't know that.
Set of people.
You don't know that, and I bet you the statistics prove you wrong.
How are you going to get those statistics then? You can't. You can't.
Sony has it. Sony
no, they don't.
Has it.
No, they don't.
Do. Yes, they do. What do you mean how? They can tell you how many disc systems they put out and how many disc systems have been sold.
Yeah, but you have to correlate that with the amount of God of War special editions that got sold with those things, and you also have to take into account who bought them as gifts, who gave them out to their kids or whatever else. The metrics are all over the place.
You have zero idea because you have zero statistics. You have zero.
Well, you don't have any either, so we're both at zero.
Statistics.
We're both
on
at zero.
How many special editions were put out with just the code? You have no idea how many special editions in the last 10 years were put out with just the code. No idea. Zero.
You don't either. I mean, you don't have a list of them in front of you. I know that I own some of them, and I know that I'm mad about the fact that they have them, and I know fans complain about them online every time they put them out.
No.
Fire Emblem?
Not fans. Collectors, which is the anecdotal evidence, as Dave always likes to show me, anecdotal evidence of collectors who complain online, which is a small subset.
Okay. So let me ask you this question, because this is important, and this is the crux of what I'm trying to get at. Mm-hmm. Given the option of a disc or a discless system, what do you think is the person's main driver for buying a discless version? And take price out of the equation.
Because they're not a collector. They may not want.
And what does that mean? What does that mean?
They don't have a bookshelf, or they don't want to put a bookshelf of vast video games, but they could put something. They could put statues on.
No. They already have
statues and games are different things.
Now wait a minute. They're both
games.
They're both collector's items. They're both collector's items.
No,
because you can just get a digital version of it and then not have a physical. So why is the statue different? I'm going to assume that they have their house decorated.
Because they want the statue. It fits the decoration.
But why don't they want the game case?
Your original
But why don't they want the game case?
Because they don't want the shelf that we have. They don't want that. They want the statue. They don't want the shelf with the games on it.
If they love the game so much, wouldn't they want to display a nice steel book with the game inside and all that?
No. There are plenty of people who just want the statue. This is why
I don't understand.
Your original point. How do you not understand? You know they sell.
Wait. So you're. Wait.
Do you not go on YouTube?
Let's go back. Let's go back.
Do you not go on YouTube and see the people who display their statues only? Do you not see that the statue only YouTubers?
No, I don't, because they're right next to their game collection.
No, that's actually not true.
90% of the people. 99% of the people.
That is not true at all. You don't go on YouTube at all.
Who? Name me a YouTuber who just has statues.
Gem Collections only has statues. He doesn't have any video games.
Well, you don't know that because he doesn't feature them.
He doesn't.
And he's also collecting comic book stuff. Yeah, not video games.
But he has statues.
And he also has a room full of comics too. He also has the physical. He also has the physical comics.
He sold a lot of those off.
Well, that doesn't matter. He had them. He was a collector of that stuff. So you're proving my point.
It doesn't have him anymore. Because I'm proving my point. He doesn't have the room.
That doesn't matter. He collected them for so long.
If you go to Gem Collections and see his videos, you will see
Gem Mint Collectibles. Get the name right.
Gem Mint Collectibles, correct, right. If you look under and look at people just like him, you'll see other videos of thousands of people who just have statues and that's it.
Well,
they don't have comic books. They don't have CDs.
You brought up wait. I don't know about any of those people because you're not naming them.
I do.
But hold on. No. You mentioned Gem Mint Collectibles, and he had a full collection of comics. Whether he sold them recently or not, he was
matters.
in. No, it doesn't.
Matters.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. I could be a collector, sell my games, get a digital system, and only want digital games. But I want the statue. That's the point I'm trying to make. I want
okay,
the statue.
but he wanted all those comics. We don't know why he sold his comics, and that's not even the point of it.
Well, he bought a new house. He bought a new house, so he sold it for a reason. And that's,
okay, so he used that to fund his new house. All right, so that's the point.
And
he didn't sell them because
he only wants statues.
He didn't sell them because he didn't want them. He sold them to fund something else, which I understand. That is different. You were making the argument. You were making the argument that he only wanted this one thing. He didn't. This dude wanted the comics. He loved having the collection.
No, that's not true. Because if that's the case, why didn't he sell everything? He kept.
Well, I don't know. I'm not. But I'm just saying.
Really
I'm just going on the facts. He had.
The fact is, he kept what he really wanted. He kept what he really wanted to keep.
So if it was like a month ago, before he sold all that stuff, let's just go back to that, and there you go. The point is moot.
No, right? The point is that people want statues. There are your original point, which you said earlier, makes more sense. Why don't you sell them? Why don't you sell it separately? If that's the case.
Well, that's the issue. Then we wouldn't be having this conversation. But that's not my original point. That's my original solution. That's the easy solution.
Well, there you go.
That's the easy solution. My original.
The easy solution is to have two SKUs: digital. Then you got to manufacture two separate ones and keep stock of them. Oh,
that makes it a little more difficult.
And that's why they don't want to do that. But you can download a code, but a person who has a digital system can't put a disc in.
But to go back to my point, the crux of the matter is, and you agreed, the reason people buy digital is because they don't want a ton of stuff in their house. So
no, that's not true. That's not true.
You agreed on that point. They don't want the game discs.
They don't want the game disc. They may want statues though.
But I'm gonna assume no.
I don't assume
because they don't want a ton of stuff in the house.
Don't assume. You know what they say about people who assume.
You don't know though. You don't know. You're assuming that they do want it. You're assuming in the same manner, right?
There are people.
I'm gonna make the argument. I'm gonna make the argument.
People who want statues. Plenty of people.
Do they have to be game statues? Maybe it's just fine art. I mean, it could be anything. I'm going to assume they already have decorations in their house too, and they want to keep things minimal, right? The whole point.
Everybody who goes to, I forgot the name, it escapes me right now. There's a place where you could buy like gaming statues and stuff. Well, statues in general. Everybody who bought a Halo statue or a Marcus Phoenix statue or a Mario statue or a Kratos statue, all those people have video games. All those people have video game or actual physical discs. No, they don't. They just want the damn statue.
They would have a physical disc of that game if they loved it that much.
No, bullshit. They have that statue.
I don't understand why a game disc is a bridge too far. But a giant 2-foot statue made of plastic and mylar that cost over $200 is okay. See, that I don't get. You would.
That's easy.
If I was that big of a God of War fan,
and God of War, I don't want that. I don't want the comic books.
There are
comic books that came out. I don't want that. I don't want the comic book.
Well, then they're not that big of a fan. Then they're not that big of a fan. That's not true.
Who are you to tell them what they're a fan of? Just because they don't want every single thing, they want the statue.
They're willing to pay $300 for this thing. They're not willing to have a game case on their shelf, and they don't want anything else to do with it but this one thing that helps your argument.
I'm a huge
because that's what you're telling me.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
We all are. Yes.
I don't have any Star Wars statues, but I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Because you don't have any room for it. I'm looking at that shelf right now. You can't put the God of War thing up there. There's no room.
I can put it over here.
And that's your last spot. I mean,
I can't put it over there. Well, you know
there's a lot. I mean, you can see I got a ton of stuff. I don't have any room for it. I just got the Mega Man statue.
If the next Star Wars game had a Darth Vader statue, I would get it. I would get it with the Darth Vader statue. However, I paid $300. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that Star Wars statue was $300, right? Mm-hmm. I would pay $300 for the Star Wars statue, but I wouldn't pay $3 for the comic book because I don't care about the book. I love Star Wars. I don't care about the comic book. And
you don't, but a lot of other people would. You're making assumptions.
Oh my God!
You're making assumptions.
That's the same argument I'm making. That
you're making assumptions.
Just because you want the game doesn't mean other people don't want the actual disc. They just want the statue. It's the same point.
I think that's a very small subset. I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing there's not people like. Well, you don't know that though.
You're obviously wrong.
That. You can't prove that.
Companies have the statistics, or they wouldn't have put out a digital system. They wouldn't have put out a digital system.
I think they just want to save money. I think they do.
No.
And I think it's easier to produce it and not have to wait for another facility to put the disc and put all the stuff together. It's obviously easier for them.
You don't go to another facility to put. No,
you do. It has to. Like they're not making the statue in the same facility as the DVDs. There's completely different facilities.
They ship the disc so it can be packaged.
Yeah, it has to be packaged somewhere. Whether it's in the statue facility or the game disc facility, probably the statue facility, wherever that's going together.
Two birds with one stone, or two enemies with one hammer. To keep.
There you go. There you go.
You piracy, right? You don't want any leaks.
I mean, that's the first time I've heard that. I kind of understand that point. Kind of.
And then there are more people than you give credit for that don't want the disc that want the statue.
There is less people than there is people who want the game disc.
No, disagree. 100%.
Oh, see,
disagree.
He can't even give an inch, folks.
Disagree.
He can't even inch.
Disagree.
And look. We're getting heated,
Disagree.
but at the end of the day, we were always still friends. We just have very strong opinions on things. That's all.
We're getting heated. We're getting heated, and it's hot in here. That's all. Because I have the fan on.
It is a little hot in there. It is a little hot in there.
It is a little hot. But it's funny. This is one of the rare occasions where we actually do agree with the overall premise.
Yeah,
but I see the other side of it. I can see why they didn't do it. I disagree with it. I wish they would just put two SKUs out, have one.
They could do that too. They could do that too, and they certainly should have done that because I am specifically not getting the jumbo special edition because there's no disc in there. I'm just going to get the regular one. I bought the 2018 one. I spent $200, $300 on it. It was cool.
Yeah,
came with a nice.
I remember how much it cost.
It was about that. Came with a nice physical steelbook. Came with all the other stuff. Came with the two little statues. It came with a nice big like Atreus thing. It came with a couple other things. I think maybe a soundtrack or whatever. I loved it.
I want Thors Hammer, and I want the special edition with the cloth map. But if it's like $400, if it's like $399, I'm not gonna buy it.
I think it's gonna be $300 to $350 for the high end.
If it's $299, I'll buy it. I'll think about buying it. I'll think about buying it if it's $299. So if it's $250, I'll buy it 100%. If it's $199, I'll buy it 100%.
So $300, $370 if you want the physical and the other one. We want the PS5 edition, and let's say it comes out at $300. $370 for both of those things.
Let's just go with the system. If just the statue and everything itself is $399, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'll tell you right now, I'm not doing it. I'll wait for it to come down in price.
Yeah.
If it's $200 to $250, I'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
If it's $299, I'll think about it. I have to think about it. And I'll tell you this: if it's $200, I'll definitely buy it with the game and make it $270.
I'm gonna say minimum $300.
And then maybe we auction off the digital code on the show.
Maybe it would be incomplete though.
All right. So let's shift gears. Talk about a game that we all thought maybe been canceled because we haven't heard about it since 2018. Right. But not only did we hear about it, we got a release date, and that is Skull and Bone. Ubisoft's sort of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, spin-off that was all about boat warfare.
That is, I'm glad you mentioned Assassin's Creed Black Flag because I kept thinking about that every time.
It's coming out the day before God of War, November 8th. And I got to be honest. They've reworked if you look at the original sort of launch trailer, for the game back in 2018 compared to what it is now, it's night and day.
Sure.
It's totally different. It went from being like a third person, Assassin's Creed looking game to a first person Far Cry boat simulator. Like that's what it looks like. It looks like a Far Cry game right now.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Right?
It kind of does. Set in the, I don't know, 18th century or whatever it is.
Yeah. So you have no story. There's no main. There's no story. So already I'm tapping out. There's no story to the game.
Yeah.
It is a full multiplayer, sort of pirate game.
Yep.
It's more of like Sea of Thieves, realistic Sea of Thieves. Because
it's their games as a service. Yeah. This is it.
Yeah.
This is their new division, right?
So I kind of like the fact I kind of like the way it starts off, though, right? Like the player, you sort of shipwreck survivor, and you build your own. You have to build your own boat and build your crew, and you have to keep your crew happy, like you would if you were a real pirate, right? You got to go hunting and hunt sharks, whales, or fish, or squid, or whatever, so they can eat. Because if they don't eat, people get grumpy. And then you have to go and you gotta go and pillage and get gold, so you can pay the crew.
Yeah.
They do have a hub world where you go to, and you go and you can get missions and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have little like towns or whatever that are safe zones.
Yeah.
Right. You can buy equipment and take on new missions and all that.
It's Destiny on a ship.
Yeah, I mean the way their like setup is going, and I think the equipment is going to follow suit, right? Because they definitely want you to spend more money. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of, we didn't really hear about the monetary system, the economy and the whatnot. I'm sure there's going to be ways to kind of like fast track your character up the chain, right? It's going to be a numbers game at the end of the day. You're going to want to have this gun, which is slightly better than this gun. That's a lot of the stuff I really wanted to hear about, like how the mechanics work. They talked about some of the systems.
You got to upgrade your ship. I mean, that's the most important thing. And I'm talking about your boat, not your spaceship, like you will in Starfield.
Yeah. And that was like kind of cool. There's different classes of ships. There's navigation ships, there's transport ships, and combat ships. Those are like the three main types. And then you can kind of outfit them with different colors and cosmetics, cannons and weapons, and like they were mentioning Greek fire a lot. So there's some customization there, which looks super cool. Like I'm definitely about that.
So what do you like? I'm not going to buy this game. It looked cool. Okay, don't get me wrong. This is the Game Pass. Like I don't know. It's probably not coming to Game Pass, but it should. If they want a big player count. But I'm not going to spend $60, $70. Ubisoft, I think, has adopted $70 model, like PlayStation. Yeah, I'm not going to pay $70 for a game that has no story, and it's coming out the day before God of War, right?
It depends on how the economy is for me, right? If it's a game that's more like Diablo Immortal, and kind of less like I can't think of a better example, but less like something else that's kind of always online that you can just kind of play and have a good time with. They keep updating content, that's really where it is for me. It looks cool, but I want to see what all the systems are, because at the end of the day, it looked like everything that Assassin's Creed 4 had. Just turned to 11, right? You could upgrade the ship. They give you some more options for that, but I want to see how the systems all kind of work together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm kind of interested, but then I'm not. Again, I'm not. Gonna, There's no story. I mean, they flat out said no story. So
right.
As soon as they did that, I tapped out.
The story would be in the missions, and the missions are going to be, hey, somebody stole my loot. Can you go here and kill these pirates or whatever, these bandits? That'll be what the story is.
It's all about every day you go in and your crew is upset because they're hungry and you got to go fishing.
Exactly.
Go hunting.
Exactly.
Your crew is upset because they don't have any money and you got to go pillaging.
Yep.
Destroy a boat. And then you have another boat that has an upset crew and they're trying to pillage you and destroy you and get your loot. That's
you kind of got to make your own stories. Yeah, you got to make your own stories.
And that's not something that I care about. So I'd give you something I do care about, and that's E3 season. Even though we didn't have E3, right? Every other year, it was like 2020, 2021 we had it, and in 2022 we didn't have it.
Yeah,
but we still call it E3 season.
Just like the Order 1886, back to back no shows. All right, Order 1886.
Well, no.
Nominated 3 years in a row. E3 no shows 3 years in a row.
That's actually not true.
It's a dynasty.
No, that's not true. That's not factually true. We didn't have E3 in 2020, but we had it in 2021. We had E3 in 2021. It was digital, remember?
Okay.
So,
no physical presence. I mean, it was a muted. It was a hobbled, muted mess last year.
So no, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought. I mean, the press
bad.
conferences. No, the press conferences didn't live up to the hype. But E3 having it in a certain time and everything, having a time and place where you can go and see it.
Well, that's all E3 is it's a centralized location. But
so we know it's coming back next year, but it's officially they officially said that it will be back in Los Angeles like it always is, every year.
Yeah.
And the ESA said the E3 return in 2023 will be a week of Titanic AAA reveals.
I would hope so.
Earth-shaking premieres and exclusive access to future video. And one of the reasons why they're so gun-ho on how E3 is going to be super big next year, because ReedPop, the company who runs PAX and Star Wars celebrations, will also be sort of running. So I'm kind of excited. The E3 wars have begun, all right? Because E3 will go up against Summer.
Well, we talked about that. We talked about that last episode. We're going to get two different conventions, right?
Yeah.
I'm agnostic. I don't care. I just want to see the game announcements wherever they're put out. I want people to be able to do it. If it's through YouTube or it's like on a stage and it's a live cast or whatever, that's fine by me. I think ReedPop coming into the mix is great. They made the right decision because ReedPop knows how to put in a convention. They've been helping Gabe and Mike do the Penny Arcade stuff. They've essentially, I think, taken it over, right? Where kind of one of the guys doesn't even go there anymore for reasons, which I understand. But like ReedPop is kind of running it with like, I think Gabe and Mike kind of, running it from behind the scenes. Right? They kind of give their input on that and all that. ReedPop is definitely the way to go. They're definitely going to interject some life into this. At the end of the day, it comes down to the games, right? The content. However you present it, if the games don't look good, if the trailers don't look good, there's your show.
It will be, it will be the fight. It will be the fight for it'll be fight for the AAA games. But
exactly. Who gets what announcements? All right.
But if let's just say for argument's sake, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo sign up for E3, okay, right? Then I don't see how Summer Games Fest is going to work. It's just going to be the indie showcase, because if Nintendo is at E3 and say they're going to have the Nintendo Direct at E3, they're coming with their big stuff. If Sony says we're back and we're going to come back to E3, they're going to come with their big stuff. If Microsoft says we're going to be a part of E3, they're going to come with their big stuff. They're not going to sparse out and say, we'll do Halo 7 at E3, and then we'll give the Gears of War to Jeff Keighley for Summer Games Fest. They're going to have everything at E3 if they're going to pay that money to be a part of it.
Well, maybe ReedPop has the muscle to make that happen. Maybe the ESA board has the connections to make that happen, but Sony hasn't been there in the last 4 years. Nintendo does it, but doesn't utilize their stage for the presentations.
Well,
EA does their own thing. They just do it the day before.
Technically, Sony hasn't been there in 2 years because there's only been 2 E3s that they missed.
Well, right, but they've been doing their own presentation. Like they aren't even at Keighley's thing. They do their own presentation. Same with Nintendo.
That's not true. That's not true. They've been at Keighley scored The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us News and stuff like that. So they've been a part.
But they have their own presentation. Like God of War was their own thing. God of War announcement was like on its own. Here it is. Like 2 days later, we have the God of War.
I think God of War Ragnarok was internally delayed, but not not publicly delayed. So I think God of War was a different.
Well, I mean, maybe, but I'm just saying it wasn't at any of the presentations.
Yeah, I think even if E3 was this year and they were at E3, I don't think we would have heard anything about God of War Ragnarok. I think they would have stopped that anyway.
Well, we definitely wouldn't because Sony doesn't go to E3 anymore.
like I said.
So that's a
if you listen to what I-
guarantee. That's a guarantee.
No, that's actually not true. If you would have listened to what I said even if Sony was at E3 this year, you wouldn't have gotten a God of War Ragnarok announcement because I think it was internally delayed.
I mean, sure.
Publicly delayed.
Sure.
So,
all I'm saying is that the ESA has an uphill battle. It's not just, oh, hey, we're back. Everybody come to the table. I think it's going to take some work.
I think the uphill battle is
gonna take
the
some
price. I think is the price that people, get to pay for, maybe even
like
if you don't pay for
$100,000
stage.
for stage presence, I think.
Yeah, but even if you don't pay for to have a present, the stage, and you're gonna do sort of like a in-person live, event, you gotta pay. You gotta pay sort of to have, the booth space, right?
Well, there's that too. Yeah, you want to be on the show floor, right? Because that's the whole point, right? To get journalists to play the games so they can report on them, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think, and then I think that's the if they can bring the price down. And
I don't think they're going to bring it down. I think they're going to bring it up.
I think
given everything.
I don't think they're going to bring it up only because you want people to come. You want to invite people to come, and I think maybe I think one of the issues is the venue. Maybe they need to choose a different venue than in a different state than instead of California. Well, at least in Los Angeles, go back to Vegas. Maybe.
Oh God, no!
Maybe the expense of that whole, because remember,
you think LA is cheaper than Vegas?
100%. LA is expensive. LA is one of the expensive places in the world. Yeah.
So is Vegas, because they're going to do it on the Strip at one of the big hotels.
I think
it's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of money.
I think Vegas. Okay.
It's more convenient for developers, right? Because there's a lot of Silicon Valley, there's a lot of California developers. It's a little easier to get to.
I think Vegas to get to if you're.
Well, you would have. I mean, you could have it in Canada. People would go because it's going to be that big of a thing.
Well, let's for argument's sake, I'm throwing out arbitrary numbers. Let's say California is 10 million. If Vegas is 8 million, it's still expensive, but it's still cheaper, right? So
I don't think
California
it's cheaper.
I think California.
Vegas on the Strip is going to be big money.
I think Vegas on the Strip is cheaper than California.
All right.
I'm not saying it's vastly cheaper. I'm not saying it's extremely. I'm not saying we're talking about 10 million to 2 million, but I think it's a little bit cheaper. You can save some money that.
Maybe. I don't know. Vegas is pricey, but maybe. I mean, if that is the case and they can get the price down a little bit, I still don't think they're going to pass the price on to the. In this case, I'm gonna go ahead and call Ubisoft a consumer onto their consumers. They're just gonna say, hey, we can make more profit off it, and we're still gonna charge you $100,000. All right, and you just have to travel 3 hours to get to Vegas.
I'm gonna solve all the problems right now. All the problems. I'm gonna solve it right now.
Separate the hammer from the game.
Yes.
Okay.
To separate.
All right. What is the solution?
And I guarantee you there'll be a lot of people that bought a hammer that didn't buy the actual physical game. But anyway, the solution is you have E3, and then E3 week you have Game Award. And
okay.
And there you go. So you saw.
Didn't they do that one year? Didn't they have like awards for E3? I'm pretty sure we talked about it.
I think
somebody did.
I think when Jeff Keighley was a part of it, he had the winner of E3 or the game of E3 or something.
I think there was a bunch of awards. Yeah.
I'm thinking about actual the Game Awards being in June instead of December.
Oh, damn!
All the games from last year to be nominated.
No, way too far into the future, because no one's going to remember the game of January 2023 in summer of 2024. They're going to go, for what? What's spoken?
You gotta get your entries. You gotta get to entries in 6 months early.
People are going to be scratching their heads. They're going to go, how come the latest God of War, the latest Call of Duty isn't in there? Oh no, the Call of Duty came out this year. This is a year and a half ago. That game. Oh.
I admit the transition would be a little weird. Like that first year would be that first year. But I think you could do that. Come on.
We're still talking about how the Game Awards should be at least in January, if not February. Put it in award season. That's what every other award show does.
Well, I'm trying to help Jeff Keighley out, get the industry together, right? They come together for GDC. That's sort of like in February, March, right? Like
March, yeah.
Yeah. So come on. Yeah, everybody's going to be together anyway for E3.
Mm-hmm.
So come to do the Game Awards then, right? And that first year will be here's the Game Awards for the last year and a half, and then the next year will be they'll come you'll have it synced properly the following year. Come on, I'm trying to help everybody out. I'm trying to help Jeff Keighley and
okay. You're separating the hammer from the game. There you go.
All right, so I can help E3 out. The one company I can't help out is Intellivision, specifically the Intellivision Amico console.
Yes, because we haven't talked about this in like over a year.
It's been a lot of development. It's been a lot going on. We haven't really talked about it. It's never made the run of show in the last 6 months. But we went from Tommy Tallarico, the former CEO, stepping down, but he's still part of the board. Television losing the trademark.
Oh, just this week they lost the trademark. That is the latest. Trademark,
but they got it back. Right afterwards.
Everything is solved. Everything is solved. They fixed the issue. They got the trademark back, guys.
The new CEO, his name escapes me. I should have wrote it down in already.
Phil Adam.
CEO, Phil Adam,
whoever
did say that the Television Amico console is still in active development. It has not been canceled.
Yeah, active development. They have no launch date. They keep pushing it. It's it's a shit show, man. Yeah. I give no leeway to the Intellivision team at this point.
All the 50 and early 60 people wrote with the Intellivision. Very disappointing, right? They're looking forward to the
all 10 of them. All 10 of them who want to get the hammer, but not the actual game disc. I think this was. I mean, even with like the VCS, right? The VCS made it out.
It had trouble development too. The VCS, we didn't know.
It did have trouble development.
It had some trouble.
But we don't hear anything about it. We don't hear about any updates to it. Nobody's talking about it. It's out. I don't know. I'm assuming they're still being manufactured.
No. We talked about it 2 shows ago, where the 50th anniversary of the Atari.
Well, I mean, it's coming to PS5,
Xbox, PC,
and the VCS.
Switch. Yeah. And the VCS, not Stadia though. Stadia.
Right. But that's just an also rans. Like I would expect it to come out for the VCS. I was less expecting it to come out everywhere else, because then it doesn't make the VCS any more worthwhile.
It's the first game to come out on every console,
except the Stadia. Right.
Except for Stadia.
But they don't even have that. The one game that anyone was excited about, Earthworm Jim, has ceased production. The company that was working on it basically bailed. Oh, yeah, 100%. And that's the only game that people were interested in. Finnegan Fox, which looked decent, was a reskin of another game. And all the other games they have they're just like, they look like mobile versions of games. The controller, while interesting, is it's like an old school iPod. It's got a jog wheel and a little touchscreen and some buttons on the side. It's not great, right? So but there's nothing really special about it. All the games they have don't necessarily need the controller for any reason. Like they mentioned some things that could have been cool with it and whatever. You've got a little personal screen. You could do cool things with that, but the games they have are not utilizing the technology in a way that says, "Oh, this is the only thing that does this," right? Not to mention that they took pre-order money when they said no. They said, "Oh, this is your pre-order money is going to be backed, and if there's any issues, you can always get a refund." They used that for development. They took money from the German government for development. Pretty much all that money's dried up, so it's not looking great for the Intellivision Amico. And honestly, I don't think the system's going to come out. I will say that, because they have gone so far. Nobody's really got hands-on with the unit. I mean, they've had some presentations. You could play them a little bit, but
they've had demo units. They haven't mass-produced. They
have mass-produced a single one. They don't have a final product for any of this stuff yet. And no one's really gotten a lot of hands-on time with it. They played a couple of games at some events. That's about it.
I disagree again. I think this will come out. It will be a shit show when it does come out. I'm not saying it will be successful or by any means. It will come out. It eventually will come out, just like the Atari VCS eventually came out, because people said that. I bet people there was nothing but videos online about how the VCS won't come out. It did come out. It's not great. It's a shit show, right? Same thing with this. I think this will eventually come out. If you do want a refund, on their website, they did say they will refund you your money.
Oh, of course they say that. But lots of
GameStop has refunded pre-orders as well.
Well, why are they even taking pre-orders though? That's the thing though. Like they haven't guaranteed
because
any
it's GameStop.
Because they haven't guaranteed it. And I know people have had tons of trouble trying to get a refund from the Intellivision team specifically. So they'll say you can get a refund, but it ain't that easy. It ain't.
Well, I mean, they make you jump through hoops, but I'm sure
exactly
you'll get a refund. If I did, they'll hear from my lawyer, and I'm sure I'll get it right away.
Well, like the thing of it is though, right? This is the sunk cost fallacy. Like this is the prime example. I will hold it up like the Zelda Triforce, the prime example of sunk cost fallacy. And it goes as follows, right? You spend a ton of time and money on this particular thing, be it let's say an update to Halo or a product or a new feature, or you're building a website, whatever the thing is. And you put so much time into it that you're like, no, we put so much time into it. The only logical solution is to finish it and get it out there, no matter what it takes. As opposed to saying, hey, maybe we cut our losses and stem the bleeding, as opposed to trying to kick it out the door. I don't know how well the VCS is doing, but by all accounts, probably not great. Maybe they've broken even. I don't even think they have yet, but nobody's really talking about it. It's not a hot seller. I'm sure I could go online and buy a VCS right now, and I could have it for a couple $100, but that's the thing. Like, you have to kind of weigh those costs. And I would have to think the team, the CEO, Tommy, everybody is smart enough to have those internal conversations to say, is it worth going forward, right? Because they keep trying to ask for more money, which is a bad sign, They keep putting up posts for UI developers and systems architect and whatever else is as late as like last year, right? That's not a good look. These people should be in place. Unless somebody gets fired or whatever, you should have these roles filled early, right? You should have people who know what they're doing, that are able to kind of like guide the process, right? And then you can get a bunch of people underneath them to say like, look, here's how we should do it, have the meetings, and then they kind of build it out. But you need to have somebody at the top who's like,
all right. So just for reference, you can still buy the Atari VCS, $399.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
exactly. $400. Who was buying this?
The joystick, and the modern controller. $299 for no controller, and on sale.
Ooh.
The Atari VCS Black Walnut all-in speaker hat bundle, where it comes with the VCS, the modern controller, the joystick, and a hat that says Atari.
Hey, well, there you go. That's worth the price of admission right there. I mean, come on now.
For $479.99. It's more than a PlayStation 5 digital edition. It is more than an Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
Separate the hammer from this.
It's crazy. So I'm trying to find sales numbers on the VCS. Can't really find them.
First of all, we barely have any. Well, first of all, we have no sales numbers on the Xbox Series S or X. They just
but we have a pretty good idea because we know like shipped units
because it's sold out.
We can kind of work on it.
Yeah.
But they're doing fine. Consoles are being sold.
the
consoles
Atari
are being
VCS, you're not gonna get any. You're not gonna get any numbers. They're not gonna tell.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, no. 10,000 plus. So they're okay, guys. They've sold 10,000 units. 10,000 plus units. So that's at least 10,001. There you go.
Where did you see that? Units. So I mean, I doubt they actually.
It comes from their annual general meeting as of December 7th, 2021, because it's annotated. So they have a PDF, which is in French, but I can definitely
You can speak French.
I can definitely see. Well, I can a little bit, yeah. But anyway, so they sold at least 10,000 units, which they're okay. They're okay. They've obviously broken even from that.
I'm looking at the same thing. In 2020, they sold 10,000.
Well, the end of 2021 was their
2020,
thing. Yeah, 2020.
So we don't know. Maybe they've sold 12,000 units. Who knows?
Yeah, they're doing fine. All
right. Let's shift gears and let's talk about Robocop. We've never talked about Robocop on any of the shows.
I don't think we have. I haven't had a Robocop game in a long while.
We haven't had a Robocop game since the Robocop game that came out on the original Xbox. I don't know if it came out on I don't think it came out on the PlayStation or the GameCube. I think it was Xbox.
I definitely don't think it came out on the GameCube because it's it's Robocop. It's pretty bloody.
I think it's an Xbox exclusive, and that was the last Robocop game, which is surprising, right?
Yeah, it's such a good concept.
Robocop, it's a good it's good. I'm surprised we didn't get one when we got the remake of the first movie that came out like 2 or 3 years ago, right?
2014. I think it's been a while.
Really?
It's trust me. I was still living in my old place at the time, so maybe 2015. I remember I downloaded the mobile shooter game for my Nexus 5X.
Maybe 2014, 2015. So we haven't seen it. We haven't seen, like the movie came out maybe 6-7 years ago.
But they totally should have had they had a mobile game tie-in, which was okay, but they should have had a full game.
But it was a RoboCop Rogue City. Gets a sort of combat trailer. It looked okay, first person, right? First person with targeting, just like RoboCop can, he has that aim assistance, right? Yep.
You see the little crosshairs come together, that's very much like RoboCop, yeah.
And the original actor reprising his role as Murphy,
Peter Weller,
he is coming back. Yeah, that's awesome. So I don't know how well this game will do. It looked cool. I don't know how well it'll play. I think this is a concept. This is a concept that should be easy and should be able to make a AAA game out of it. But for some reason, they can't make a really good game.
Right?
I think the best RoboCop game came out on the Sega. No, was it Sega? Yeah, I think it was Sega CD. It was like RoboCop versus Terminator.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the arcade games were really good too. The NES port was okay. Yeah, it's awesome. Who doesn't want to play as a Robocop? Now, the one thing I'll say is the developer is Teyon, Teyon. They are a Polish developer. Who? Exactly. They were founded in 2006, and let me just give you some of their track record, Dan.
Okay, because I've never heard of them.
They made Monster Truck Championship for the Nintendo Switch in 2020.
Okay.
I know that game. They made Chat-A-Lot for the Nintendo 3DS in 2014.
Never heard of that. Okay.
They made Crazy Chicken Pirates 3D in 2012.
Never heard of that.
They made Ball Fighter for the DSiWare in 2009.
Okay.
And they made several games in the Hubert the Teddy Bear franchise.
Definitely never heard of that.
So the one game that's kind of interesting is they made the Terminator Resistance game in 2019, which I think did okay. Yeah, not that great. They also made the Terminator on-rail shooter Rambo the video game in 2014. Not what people wanted, but they have done some licensed properties. I mean, it looked pretty good, and they got the clips from Stallone and all that.
So what you're telling me is they've been around for a while.
Since 2006, yeah, they have made a lot of games. I will say that more games than I thought. Yeah.
So on top of that, just as a side note, they also announced a new Terminator game in development.
Right.
Right. And it's a survival horror game where it's set in the future before John Connor starts the Resistance. It's right after D-Day, before John Connor starts the Resistance, and you're running from a T-1000. So it looks like it may be, from what they say, it may be in the vein of Alien Isolation, except for instead of the alien, it's the Terminator.
That would be awesome. I am on board. I know you're not crazy about the stealth and hiding around, and the survival horror is not necessarily your jam, but I don't know. Are you a little interested in the Terminator game?
I'm happy for the concept. It's not a game that I would care about.
Okay.
Like Alien Isolation, I think it should have got more love than it got.
100%. Yeah, that game is amazing.
Not a game that I love. Not a game that I care about.
Right. Damn. Man.
All right. So, last bit of news is some sad news. Microsoft has made a major change to Xbox Live with Gold. It starting October 1st, it no longer will be giving out free Xbox 360.
No more Xbox 360 games. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we heard 2 years ago where PlayStation thought putting out PlayStation 3 free PlayStation 3 games, right? We thought they would replace that with PSVR games. They didn't. They still haven't done that. That is the missing link in the PlayStation, Plus catalog. And maybe when PSVR 2 comes out, maybe they'll start to do that. You can build their catalog of VR games. I still just redeem my 360 games. I don't play a lot of them. They don't have a lot of good games that come out. I think the last good game, I could be wrong, 6 months ago, was like Fatal Fury Mark of the Wolves, which was like a Dreamcast game.
Fatal Fury Mark of the Wolves, amazing. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. But I mean, I guess to put this in context, the Xbox 360 came out November 2005. All right, it came out when the then new King Kong movie, the 2005 Peter Jackson game, came out. That was a launch title for that system, right?
That's true.
Dead or Alive 4, I believe, was a launch title for the Xbox 360. Perfect Dark Zero launch title. So this is over 15 years old, right? 2005, 2015, 2020, 17 years. So it certainly had a good run. I understand why, right? They just don't have people downloading the games as much as they would. The value is not necessarily there. And, it's hard to find new games to put out for that. So it kind of makes sense,
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So
All right.
Rip 360 games with gold.
So that's it, Dave. That's all I have for the news. You got any good plans this weekend?
Oh, I am seeing, and I'm going to go ahead and quote a meme that I saw online. I am going to see the best Marvel movie since Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. The best, Dan. The best. It's breaking all the box office charts since the last. That's the whole. So I'm going to see Thor: Love and Thunder. Very excited. It's bringing back Jane Foster. He is now giving Mjolnir, as we talked all throughout this episode about Mjolnir and the hammer. He is separating the hammer from himself and bestowing it onto Jane Foster. Apparently, she is back in the fold of the Marvel Universe. She is now worthy in some way. She has proven her worth to be female Thor, right? We have had this in the comics, so there is some kind of through line to it. It does reference some of that stuff, I think. We're going to see a naked butt of Chris Hemsworth. Yay. I'm actually surprised that there's nudity in... well, they made a big deal about it, right? It's in the damn trailer, except they have it blurred out, but you're going to see his butt, which is funny because it's Disney. They like to keep things PG.
I kind of always saw his butt in another movie.
I don't think so. I think this is the first time we're seeing bare ass of Chris Hemsworth in movie format. I have to... in movie format. But Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be in it, right? I think that's kind of the culmination, which is why it's Love and Thunder, and it's got the 80s metal cover style to its artwork. It's Taika Waititi coming back to the fold, right? He did Ragnarok. He did the last one. Taika Waititi is awesome. Very good. I
think this is the first Marvel movie where it's like the fourth entry, right?
for a particular right. If you
Yeah.
count Spider-Man, that's 3. Thor would be 4. Iron Man had 3. Ant-Man had 2. Yeah. Most of them do like 3, and then it's like, okay. So yeah, 4th in the series. 4th in the series, which is awesome. People love Thor. People love new Thor. People love new Thor.
New Thor. Yeah, Captain America had 2 or 3.
Well, it was Captain America, the winter. The First Soldier, Captain America,
First Soldier.
Right? First Soldier
was the prequel, right?
The Winter Soldier,
Winter Soldier,
and Civil War, because it was Captain America : Civil War. Even though it was a team up movie,
it was Captain America movie. It was focused on it, right?
Yeah, because it had like Baron Zemo and all that, and there was a thing with him and Bucky and all that. Yeah, so it just happened to have a schism between the Avengers or the Avengers, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. I actually just finished The Boys.
You finished off The Boys, huh? Wow. Well, tell me how that went, Dan. Tell me how that went. Was it satisfying? Was it satisfying? Finished off The Boys.
It actually wasn't. I don't know if I liked the last episode.
Oh, really? Really?
Finishing off The Boys.
So
I thought episode 7 was the best in the whole series. Completely.
Okay. I fell asleep during it last night. I was trying to finish it and watch the Ubisoft Skull and Bones thing. I couldn't get both done.
I don't know if I personally liked
the last episode. Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't satisfying for you? The Boys didn't satisfy you? I'm just asking questions, Dan. I just want to know. I want to know what I'm prepared for when I go to finish off The Boys.
Well, obviously, it wasn't satisfying to you. You fell asleep.
That's true. It wasn't really that engaging. I don't know.
No, there you go.
Couldn't really hold my attention.
Yeah. When you're dealing with The Boys, you're not engaged. Dave is not engaged.
It started off really strong, right? I think the season started off really strong.
The season started off strong, and 7 was what we wanted. I'm not going to get into spoilers if you haven't seen it. Is what we wanted, and I thought it was awesome. I just didn't like the season. I think the season finale was better than some of the other episodes, but after seeing episode 7, the bar was raised high for me, and I thought we'd have something more. I don't know. I didn't like the twist.
Okay. I mean, it leads into another season, right? Like they're going to do more.
No, it does. It does.
Okay.
It does.
Cool.
And I am probably going to hit the beach. Who knows? I think.
Yeah. We finally both agreed it's summer. It's hot outside. Today is the day.
Go to the beach.
So all right.
All right.
Well, we got some stuff to do, folks, and that is episode 324 in the books. And my God, this was a fun episode. We want to thank you guys for doing all the good stuff that you guys do, for listening and liking, commenting. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Tell us how right or wrong me and Dan are about our opinions on God of War. All right?
Just tell me how Dave is wrong. That's it.
Dan just wants to be validated. Go, guys, you know what?
For all you digital people out there, chime in and tell Dave.
2022, I care for Dan. I love Dan. All right? Go online, make him happy. Just tell him he's right.
Because I am. That's how it works.
We are also part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. You can go on there and check out all the fine podcasts at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.